If you want to learn how to trade just like me, join the community, click the private Discord link, sign up through this membership level, and you will gain access to weekly group mentorship calls for free. Welcome back everyone to this Kaspa update where we'll be taking a look at the health of this uptrend and how we still have targets to be met. However, this could act as a short to mid-term resistance where we fall back to key levels of support, and if that is the case, then in today's update I will show you the levels that must need maintaining in order to go ahead and meet this 25-cent target in the upcoming future, which from today's current price sits at a further 200% gain. And of course, if we do get a dump down in today's update, I'll show you where exactly to, but let's just take it, for example, back to the previous high. This would bring a 36% dump, and then from this point is going to further increase the opportunity that we have to make further gains. So a 200% move could turn into a 400% move very quickly. So yeah, let's get on with that. Make sure you do like, subscribe, comment and share. We're very close to 7k. I think getting to that target is achievable by the end of this month, so help me get there, guys. And if I will be bringing out some discounts on my course, mentorship, if that's of interest to you, then use the links in the description below. Head over to Twitter to ask more about these discounts. Let's continue with this update as it's been heavily requested over the weekend. And I had some people commenting that they had sold this area of resistance. Nice. Hopefully, if you were a trader here, then this would be a significant take profit level, because yes, we still have further targets to the upside at 25 cent up here, but this can act as a short-term resistance. And let's get into those levels that will fall back down to. So this is the 5-day time frame, and essentially use the weekly is totally fine. I just prefer the 5 days. It shows more candles, essentially more candles to work with, more candles to read. If I go to the weekly, there's not as many candles, so it'll be a little bit easier to spot patterns going down to this time frame, as well as if there's any signals on this time frame. This is actually a precursor to this to a signal that's about to appear on the weekly, so you actually get some signals front running the weekly time frame. If you've been checking out my other altcoin videos, we discussed this today, so yeah, check out all those other alts that we do cover on the channel. There's definitely some altcoins that you may not have heard of that could bring life-changing opportunity as well, so make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell on. So on the 5 days, quite simple for me. Looking at the 20, we're starting to see it cross through these key levels of resistances. We just need to get it above that 5.4 cent, and essentially would say that if we do come down to here, as long as it holds a support, we'll continue higher. Look at the times where we've confirmed the 20 as support. We've always continued higher afterwards. So here we confirmed the support, went to a new high. Here we confirmed its support, and eventually it went to a new high. So here, so you can say on the lower time frames it did continue high, but even with the bodies it did continue high. But really we want this body breaking that high for significant breakout. So either way, we made a higher high with the body and the wicks, then we came down to the 20, and then they made another higher high. So we're seeing that every single time it comes down to this, as long as it holds, we continue with an uptrend, which suggests a higher high. So the suggestion is that we are allowed to see a dump. This dump could be around 30, let's just say 35%, because we will creep up as it comes down. So we are allowed to have a 35% dump, and it still keeps this potential 200% move valid. And again, as I showed before, if we do manage to get down there, this becomes a 400% move. So realistically, guys, actually, if Kaspa does start to dump, it's just going to give us further opportunities to make life-changing gains in the long-term future. This will be a coin that creates millionaires. If it doesn't this time round, I'm sure next bull market after this one, your goals will be achieved. I can, of course, help you get there quicker and 10x your learning curve. Just need to reach out to me. The hardest part is taking action, but once you take action, you have all the tools you need to get to the same level of charting that I have, and you guys watch every single day, and how we were able to call these moves very fast, suggesting that while we are beneath this high, yeah, there are risks of dumps, but if we can hold key levels of support, I'm not going to go into so much detail because we're doing it for months every single day, and then hold those key levels, and we will eventually see a breakout. And after that breakout, our targets would be 6, 7 and 10 cent, and we've met all of those targets, topping out slightly beneath 10 cent, 9.9, but we'll just say we'll give it because we were specifically targeting the 1.618, 9.5 cent. So after that target's now been met, it's fine to retrace. I'm now going to scale to the lower time frames, as the 5 days already pointed out that this is the resistance that needs to be flipped to support, and you are allowed to come down to there. And we're still bullish and looking for, if we do get down there, a 400% further move, but from today's current price, it would be a 200% move. Now we scale to the 1 day, and this is starting to get interesting. I'm also going to go to the 4 hours, and then we'll go to the 4 hour again in a second. But let's go back to the daily right now, and we're seeing those clear signs of weaknesses at that key level, which is meant to be a shorter term target if you were a trader. From a trade from here to there, wait for a dump, look for bullish signals, and then we can have a separate trade to that target. Because the risk is, of course, we could fall back below this and invalidate that upside. Remember, we are allowed to dump 35%, but if we start to lose this level and flip it into resistance again, then we're no longer targeting, we're looking for targets to the downside. And if that were to happen, I'll instantly make a video update suggesting the levels that must hold in order to climb back above this and then continue to that 25 cent target. But that's not a worry as of now. The worry is, where is this dumping down to? And we know the path is to the upside. How do we maintain that? So on the 5 day, the 20 was here. So we know in the short term, it's allowed to go down to there, see the 35% up, and we will continue higher. Now the daily is saying a different sort of story. The 55, which is acting as like our second layer of defense, go back to the 5 day real quick. It's essentially saying, yes, we want to find support here in order to continue in the short term, but you can correct below this. Your second level of defense is down here, and this must hold in order to bring you back above this resistance and continue higher. We don't really need to worry about that right now. That's what I was suggesting on the lower time frames when we're on the daily, that if we do lose this resistance, we will make a separate video when that does happen, but it's not a worry as of now. But we saw that there is a second layer of defense below this point. When we go to the daily, that's where the 200 EMA is actually sitting. And this is the bottom of our uptrend. You can see that we can correct towards it. You don't necessarily need to get down to it. We just need to see bullish signals or bullish reversals before this. If it gets down to there, that's going to be your optimal entry point. But over here to the left, we saw some bullish signals flashing with a double bottom taking us back above, and a second double bottom taking us back above the 55. Because usually when you lose the 55, we want to see it confirmed as resistance, lose this initial low, and then we will continue to the target. The same thing here, create this new low, hit it as resistance and break this low, and we failed to do so on 2 separate occasions. So that's a bullish signal that brings us back above. As long as we can hold above the moving averages, we'll continue higher. Same thing again, we'll continue higher. So we're seeing that actually come to fruition. So essentially, guys, it's signaling that we could come down as deep as this and it still would be fine on a technicality. If we did continue down to here, would be from this point where we reclaim the moving averages and head to there, and if it did dump down to here, we would have just reclaimed it and then eventually gone higher anyway. So that is your worst case for the bulls over there. But what I must say is that if you do lose this, it does suggest that that 400% move up from this point is in the short term invalidated. Of course, we could fall back to here and eventually reclaim those levels, and if this confirms support again, that 400% move is valid. So let's not worry about that right now, but it's vital to show you guys those levels that we are allowed to go down to and still see eventual gains. But for the immediate short-term gains, we want to hold above this level. And we can see that the second layer of defense, the 55 on the daily, is actually above that point. So again, we could get down to here and then reclaim the 20 and look for continuation higher. What I'm now going to do for you guys is I'm going to use my Fibonacci's from that low to this high, and it's going to give us some further confidences, further confirmations with what we've already said. And when we have a big rally up, and if it does top out, how do we know? We need to start seeing it come down. What are some other indications? Is it at a target? Yes, it is. Key level, a resistance rejection. So confirmed as our top. So I'm going to measure that whole move up. It's going to show me the levels that we could fall back to and still continue higher. Now, one thing that I must state, if a newly formed trend is super bullish, you may only come down to the 382. What could also signal that is truth? The 20 moving average on the daily is there, and if we are continuing up in the short term, you just need to come down as low as there, and we do continue up. Of course, you can create the lower high and eventually lose it, and the fibs are preparing us with further levels. We also know if we lose this, there's a second layer of defense, and that's tying up very nicely with our golden pocket over here with the 55 sitting at the 618 fib at 5.7 cent. So it's nice to see that we know these key levels of support are above the level that we must hold. We've got the 55 above it, we've got the golden pocket here above it. The shortest we may retrace is to the 382 because the 20 is there. if it does fall through. This is where we're meant to retrace to, and then from there continuing higher eventually. So we are looking for a dump right now in the immediate short term, but I've now shown you in today's update the levels that must hold in order to continue higher. I hope this was of value today. If you want me to teach you how you can do this by yourself to 10x your learning curve in months, then private message me on Twitter. Links in the description down below. There will be a discount, so private message me for the discount. This discount will last until the end of this month, as we've got Black Friday coming up and many other holidays. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment and share, and I'll catch you in the next update. If you want to hear more about my offers, watch this little clip right now. Cheers. If any of you are interested in learning how to trade just like me, there's multiple options. Click this ebook. It covers all the strategies that I use in these YouTube updates, so you will have all the same skills. Covers the Japanese candlestick, chart patterns, support and resistance, why I use EMAs over trend lines, Fibonacci's, divergences, and again, using these all together to profit using them. I've also got a discount on my course at the moment, which ends at the end of this month. So that's down to £100. You also gain free access to my Discord community for the next 3 months, where you can expect to be a part of 12 to 24 group mentorship calls. If you want something that's a bit more personalized to your needs, then join my one-to-one mentorship plan. You can choose 5 or 10 hours of my one-to-one help, and included will be the 3 months free in the community, as well as my 6-hour long video course.